Welcome again. It is still good morning, Anambra, and this is our discussion segment. Of course, we've been discussing, but this time we invited people to join us to discuss. Okay, on a particular topic we want to talk about. Like you very much know, somebody when we came in here, somebody started talking about amala that he ate yesterday. You know, he knows very well that I crave amala, not just today and always, okay? And he said that to my hearing. I started feeling hungry, and not just that. I now got to the topic and remember that we're going to talk about food again this morning, okay? So it is food, food, food. How do we produce what we eat? Let's just say that's the summary of what we're going to look at this morning from this topic that says celebrating indigenous foods and farming for a sustainable future. Okay, and this is to commemorate the 2025 Sustainable Gastronomy Day. You know, when they say gastronomy, you're tummy. Okay, so, and the theme for this year, as a matter of fact, is local says, local eat. Very beautiful theme. We're going to look at that. Welcome again. My name is Ijoma AJ.
Anambra. And our guest are seated here in the studio that will be talking into this theme, which is local seeds, local eats. And we have Dr. Rose Amasiani, State Nutrition Officer. She's also the Program Manager, Food Safety and Hygiene, WASH Ministry of Health and Hygiene Education Officer, Rubasa. And we have Noye Nebe, a dietitian and Head of Nutrition and Dietetics Department of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Amaku, Oka. Good morning, ladies. Glad to have you here this morning.
Okay, you're welcome, Dr. Rose Amasiani, and then Noyenebe. Welcome to our studios this morning. Beautiful ladies. Good to have you. Welcome. The last time we had you, people were very happy that they learned water. They never knew. And now that you're here, I'm sure we're going to learn more. And then Nonye is going to buttress the points because all we are out to achieve today is tummy. Okay. Now let's get back to the topic and first of all find out what it's talking about. Celebrating indigenous foods and farming for sustainable future. Is there any farming you are doing that that are not sustainable? I will start with you, Nonye.
Every farming is quite important. Yes, that maybe if it's not something that is planned, I say that it's not sustainable. It's also very important that we continue to farm because that in that way to make sure that there is food security. So all of this is important.
Well, thank you so much for that. Let's come to you, Dr. Rose. Nutrition, where basically every human being tends to eat, but this day we don't tend to eat right. And there are factors responsible for us not eating right because now what we do is just, stuff the tummy and then we move on. So can you just break it down since we're talking about local eat and then, local seed, local eat. Break it down so that we can know how to eat well and then probably be healthier than we already are.
Thank you very much. That because we don't have money doesn't mean we can't eat well. There are local foods, which we call indigenous food, that are locally sourced within our vicinity. We negate them and start looking for maybe foreign foods that might be costly. We might not be able to get the nourishment from it. Like we are saying, if we have foods which are the food will give us a lot of nourishment, lot of promote the health, promote our culture, also promote our environment, for a sustainable environment. Like we have food like pure. We have funi. We have nutritious. There are local foods. You can use it like you can cook it like jollof rice. You can just depending on how you want to make it.
Let's break it down. What and what? When we say local food, okay, let me look at it again. Local state, local eat. So, which states are local? Which one is even foreign? Because I know that every seed, like what do you call it, beans, rice, all those ones, they're all local to us. So, what do they really mean by local seeds?
Local seeds are the one we planted using maybe organic material, like CAP and other seawater to plant. We have like I call the phonium, which is archer.
Which is what?
Archer. We call it archer.
What is it like?
It's just tiny white, tiny and brownish seeds. It's very nutritious.
Really?
Yes. You can even grind it and use it like make like palm. You can make it like use it like make it cook like jollof rice.
Is it?
You can use it. No, it's called phonium. When later you browse it.
Phonium.
Yes, nutritious. Then we have the Anambra seed, which is upper. We have our local rice. We have red kidney beans.
Which one is our local rice? All rice are local, apart from those long grains that they bring in, maybe basmati or whatever.
The rice we planted in this our soil.
It's local.
And that is even more nutritious.
Okay.
It is not polished. Do you understand?
Okay.
We call it local rice.
Okay.
And our beans, we have different species of beans, black eye beans and all rest of them, depending on what we call it. They are local foods. We have annual, that is pumpkin, we have vegetables, we have other things, other food that we call it sauce, which is being planted, do it by yourself. At the end of the harvest, you have in surplus to sell, to use for your own family, and also you can use it to increase the income of the farmers.
Okay, let me get to Noya. Noya, you know the advancement of technology, and then parents are working beyond even the regular time to put food on the table. And like Dr. Rose said, yeah, most parents don't have time for this local food, and everything. She wants to go to school. You just bring her from the way you're cooling, boil it, fast food, and then kids are up in school. So we even go as far as even buying snacks and the rest of it for kids to go to school. As a dietitian, how can you tell parents on the healthy foods to eat in order to promote these local seeds and local eats? Because we don't have time on ourselves. Because we're here as early as 6 o'clock in the morning. What time will I have to prepare local food for kids at all?
Prepare it like yesterday. Do it in the night.
Go
ahead there.
One thing that we should know is that our local staples, our local available staples are packed with lots of vitamins and minerals. They are nutrient dense and they are the best that we can actually eat for nourishment. So, and then we keep encouraging people, parents most especially, that even from complementary feeding, that is as the child begins to eat the solid meals, that it's important that we add our locally available staples as a complementary, not just those already packed complementary food, because this is a way to teach them on how to eat our indigenous foods. So, and then again, how are we going to say that it's something we have to, use fast food? These are indigenous meals. We can actually prepare them, pre-prepare them, store them up in the fridge so that it will be convenient for us to prepare. For instance, our beans, our legumes, so she mentioned fior. This is one of our indigenous foods. Now we know that it's very difficult to cook it. Okay, so it's not something that you want to start that morning to prepare. So it's important that you could actually pre-prepare them, cook them in bulk, and maybe during the weekends when you have time, and then pack them in the fridge, and then so that it will be easy for you to prepare them, add other condiments that you can, and quickly use them as even your children's snack too. their lunch pack to school. There is nothing wrong with giving your child
prepared meal.
beans
Yeah.
for school.
Okay, for school. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with using our local rice again to prepare some of the meals. In fact, some of these are indigenous meals can even be, milled into flour and, used to prepare pancakes for them and then other things. It's not just, using them as a basic things that we used to do back then.
Can you go ahead now and tell us some of those things, starting from infants, when the baby is being weaned from breast milk and then introducing the baby to solid food? What are the things? Mention them. The things that a mother needs to mix together to that is very nutritional for the baby from infants.
Yes. So I talked about some of our staples. For instance, our rice. All right, we can use our rice. We can use our potatoes. We can even use our corn to make pap and just like I said, other things. But now it's not just making them thingy. We need to make them nutrient dense, even more nutrient dense. So we could add something, other things like soya beans. Soya beans are also part of our local staples that is actually rich in iron and even in protein. They are really rich in protein. So these are the things that we could add together to complement them, to make, for instance, the corn. If you're making pap, you could actually add it to complete the protein so that the child can get the essential nutrients that the child requires. And I also mentioned our potatoes. Now, especially the yellow flash potatoes. These are rich in vitamin A, and adding the soya bean can also, add iron into it as well, and then increase the protein. Then one of our other legumes like just the beans that I mentioned, and even the nuts, yes, groundnuts can also be added into this. All right, to even just like I said, it contains protein, but then again, it also contains oil. Okay, that's the very healthy oils that fats and fats that the child requires as well. Then even our vegetables. For instance, some parents don't know that they can start giving okra soup as complementary food. Mm-hmm. This is actually great complementary food for the child. So
from what month, year?
Oh, thank you. So from 6 months.
Yeah.
So we encourage mothers
not from 4.
We encourage mothers to breastfeed their babies exclusively for up to 6 months.
1 year.
Oh.
Yes.
1 year.
No, 6
No,
months.
for working class. No. Let's get it right. For working class ladies, I know that cannot stay home for 6 months.
They can definitely express breast milk and keep it for those who are.
Sometimes they don't manage it very well. That's just the problem. Mm-hmm. The milk you extracted and then because it gets contaminated, or they will just finish it and leave it there and the thing gets sad and they still feed it to your baby and stomach will start running.
But they can do better. So maintaining hygiene is key in all of this. Mm-hmm. Make sure that all of the bottles that they are going to use in expressing and all of that is actually properly washed, rinsed, and sterilized. And once they do that, it's also important that they know that they can store this breast milk in the fridge or even outside the fridge. So we expect that
in a
6
warm
hours. Yes. So if it's outside the fridge, it can actually last for up to 6 hours. Is that not amazing? They can do whatever they have to do outside, like being busy, and come back. Then the person that is managing the child should actually wash their hands before feeding the child the milk. And then they should also make sure that once they feed from that bottle and it remains even a little, it's not something they can keep and then say, when the child is hungry again, I will now feed that. That should be discarded or given to the child.
You see where we have problems leaving this milk behind to the hands of the managers. You don't know, you are not there, so you don't know what they're doing behind you. But it's okay. Let's also look at the fruits. What kind of fruits can we start giving children as infants?
Perfect. We can give oranges. We can give watermelon. These fruits that can be juiced easily is better because they are still on food. So something like oranges can be juiced. Something like watermelon can be juiced, and even avocados.
Paste.
That can actually be mashed.
Mashed into
the child because it's actually healthy fat and it's also nutrient dense as well. So
You didn't say
even
pineapple.
carrots.
You didn't say pineapple.
I didn't know about pineapples, but yes, they can be given.
Okay.
All right. And then what of carrots? Carrots are actually very packed with vitamin A, and it's something that we encourage. We encourage them to cook it a bit and then blend, and they can even.
Oh,
add
really?
it to- yes, they can even.
Why
add it to
cook?
the pap.
Why cook?
Okay, so it's important when it's cooked, it activates that vitamin A. Okay.
Really?
Yes. That's when
Just for
they
the
can
baby,
get the
or is
benefit.
it for everybody?
Generally, yes. It activates the vitamin A better. That is when we can actually get the full benefit of the vitamin A. But it doesn't mean you have
break
to
it
keep it for a
raw,
long
very
time.
raw.
Very raw is good, but just like I said, to get the maximum benefit, it's just okay that you cook it a bit or even blanch it.
Like how many minutes?
Like how many what?
Minutes.
Oh,
Cool.
just about it doesn't even give you about 2 minutes.
Oh, really?
1 minute or 2 minutes, just not a long time.
Now, part of this preservation you were talking about, like when we were talking about mothers preparing food for their children and everything, when you said you cook these things and store in the fridge, what is the freshness of those food when, because mothers are particular. I'm very, very sure of this. Mothers are particular. They say they want their kids to go to school with fresh food. Good enough for them. But now, when you cook and store, and then you're talking about warming and then the freshness and then the nutritional value, isn't it going to be compromised in any way?
Okay, so when I talked about pre-cooking, I mentioned some things like legumes,
Yeah.
all right, because they take
Longer
hours
time to cook, yeah.
So, and when you cook that, method of preparation is very key. It's important that some things like these legumes are very important that you parboil them. It's very, very important that you parboil them because it also helps to remove the oligosaccharides that can also cause, gas, flatulence, and all of that. For every individual, both the children and even the adults. So it's important that it's cooked. Now, when it's cooked, when that happens and then it's properly washed, and then you can store that in the fridge. Now, what it does is that it has reduced the time that you have to prepare it. Okay, it reduces the time. You don't have to do a longer time when you're not preparing. Now, when you have put it in the freezer or whatever, and then you're ready to now prepare it, let's say in the morning when the child is supposed to go to school, it has reduced, the first cooking has made it softer and is now ready to, go into the normal cooking that you're doing. Remember that is when the other condiments like the onions and then other...
Okay, your pre-cooking doesn't need oil, it doesn't need onions, just plain. Okay.
So it
Then
shortens the time
in the morning,
that you
you
would have
have
spent
something.
in the morning to prepare. So, however, it's still going to come out fresh.
Okay.
Because other condiments are going to be as fresh as possible.
Okay,
Sure.
thank
Can
you.
I come in?
Please
Yeah,
do.
you
Even
can.
if you don't want to maybe cook it in a large quantity, but you want the food to be fresh, you can start in the night and make parboil and pre-cook and allow it to remain in the pot. Then in the morning, you just put water there and you'll be preparing the children for school. Before you know it will be done. It will be very fresh.
Fresh. Okay.
Okay.
Well, the reason why I say this is because mothers are very, very particular. I need my kids to go to school. Sometimes you ask, why did you come to school? I say, my mom said they were preparing food and the rest of it. So, well, let me not talk.
Depends on planning.
Okay.
If you plan, fail. If you don't plan, you fail.
Okay.
That is why you have to plan.
So now-
the way you run it, so that children missing coming to school on time is a stress to them. Very big stress. So you don't impose them on that stress going to school.
Late.
Mothers have to know how to plan their family, how you do something on time to make sure that the children also meet up because they learn a lot in assembly. So you have to start on time and give them nutritious food that are home that are
Made.
indigenous and homemade.
Yes.
Not all those because of time.
Not mama
anything,
food.
just cook anything and give to the children just to quench hunger.
Yes. And another thing you can do is also plan a menu. Okay, that is also another way to plan yourself
Monday,
better,
Tuesday,
so that you
Wednesday.
you can tell what your child is taking.
No, yeah, that menu, not in this Nigeria. not in this display.
No,
That really helps so that you
See
can
how
also
plan
purchase
menu
in
up to
bulk
today.
and then
What did you say?
menu up to today.
We know now.
No, you still have
General aspect of
a
yes.
timetable.
These days that
that
people
really helps.
People eat what is
What
available
people
now.
eat? Well,
What is available?
okay.
That's why
you even shop better when you have
You know,
land.
You have to plan very well to make sure that you
The shopping better is it to reduce cost of what
is
you
it
buy?
not when you have money to buy the things that is in the menu?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
it even save money. Cost.
So now, how do we take away all of this packaged food from our kitchen and then reintroduce ourselves to this local food? Now that you've broken it down, that you can prepare so that it's used to save time and the rest of it all. Now, the reason why you have all this packaged spaghetti, indomie, and the rest of it all is because you just wake up, you buy what a people problem, everything is set. So now, how do we go back into the, taking these things off? And again, they are not even packed or packed with the nutrients like you said, because these are packaged food. So most of the nutrients are already gone. So now, how do we come back into getting these things so that people get to eat better and then the rest of it all?
Yeah. Dr. Masan.
For the mothers to understand that what you eat is your medicine.
Okay.
If you don't eat right, you are predisposing yourself to some health challenges
Maybe later on in the future.
in the future. That is why you have to get it right and know what you are giving to your family. Do you understand? And with the better, the earlier you know that eating an indigenous food that have essential nutrients the body needs, the better for every body. Nutrition is everybody's business. So you must make sure that your family eat healthy food.
Okay.
And when you also have children that eat healthy, you have healthy generation.
And that will reduce your movement to the hospital.
Yes, movement to the hospital. That is what we're supposed to know.
Okay.
As you are saying, what shall we do? Because sometimes, because of ignorance, or because they don't know the content of what they are eating, they will keep on giving those child all those food that are use junks.
Okay.
But it doesn't add anything to their system.
We have a lot to talk about today, but before we get to the values of some of these foods that we eat, let us look at the spices that we use now, our local spices, since we are talking local taste, local eats. Okay, local spices like the ginger, like the turmerics, garlic, a whole lot of them.
Cinnamon.
I'm coming to you. Oh, cinnamon. Okay, you mentioned that one. Cinnamon. So, what nutritional value are these local spices, please?
Some of them are antioxidants. They remove free radicals from the system. Some of them are just spices, just to give food flavor.
Which and which?
It's better, like garlic. Some of them reduce the cholesterol level in the food we are eating. Like we have the bay leaf, it's local spices. If you use it to spice your meat.
Okay, it doesn't have any other nutritional value?
It has. That's what I'm saying now.
Okay.
Some of them are antioxidants. Some of them reduce remove the bad cholesterol from food. Some of them just give taste to food. In fact, most of them they have health benefits, provided that it's natural spices.
And even the onions.
Yes.
Is that one? Does it have any
Onions is
nutritional value?
vegetable. It's vegetable. It also has essential nutrients in it. That is why we call it. You know what is the function of vegetable in the system? They prevent the body against disease. They fight the body against disease. So all those natural spices are good, including vegetables.
Okay. We're still talking about these local spices. Nonye, I would like to come in there too. What are other local spices that we need to include in our daily diets, at least to be able to get the nutritional value from them too?
Okay, so we have some of our local spices like our ogiri. All right, so this ogiri, they're also part of this. Ogiri, obe, or those ones are actually fermented already, and they are quite important for our gut health.
The fermentation process, is it good for our health? Because sometimes you hear the smell of ogiri. You see, or if you're mad in the dinner, you sure this one is not going to hurt anybody in any way?
It's actually good because the fermentation also makes it has actually added probiotics to it, and this is very, very good for our gut health. So it actually helps for gut health, and that's still what we're talking about, our stomach, right? So to have healthy gut, we should actually embrace these ones that are fermented. So we shouldn't look at it, no, these things are very, very important for our gut health. And then, just like she said, most of all these other spices, even these other some of this calabash nuts or something, ehuru and all of that.
Okay, yes.
Also local seeds and all
They're
of
very local
and
and
those
they're
ones
good
that are
spices.
spices and all of that. These are actually packed with antioxidants.
Really?
Yes. So
We're just eating it because of the flavor.
Because Kemaka Ose, nobody seems to have said anything about Ose. Is Ose not part of it?
Say it's vegetable. I don't want to. Yes.
pepper is also great. All right. So good thing about pepper is that it also contains vitamin A. You know, some people say pepper doesn't give anything.
Yeah. When I put it in food, they say, "Guys, this thing is too much. Like, what does pepper actually do?"
But you're not eating it because of what it contains. You're eating it because you enjoy it to be hot in your mouth. You like it hot. That's just
I
it.
believe that food is meant first we enjoy it.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
It gets into your palate, you enjoy it, and then you get the health benefits when it goes down into your system. So pepper is it good? It's also very good, but everything should be done in moderation.
So that's what I wanted to say.
All right.
What are you saying? So, my own
you just said it. I remember what happened to me sometime. I told my friend that I was visiting, and she asked me, "What do you want to eat?" I say, "Yam, vegetable yam." You know, that time, I thought, okay, no problems. Where but this thing? Let me just come down in our language. When I man red oil for me fugia on need to see me while I'm mam knows the beer. The thing no Hey, I was tearing up everywhere, my nose was running. Colin, what is this now? He said, you say you want a vegetable yam. Pepper is vegetable, eat. And she man a pepper freak person. Kai, I don't want to remember it. Pepper. Everything in moderation. Okay, fine. Let's go to fruits now. And then what I want us to talk about the fruits, one, the nutritional value, the local fruits that we have, or that land is so, and then nutritional value and storage. Is there any way we can store these things? Because when they're in season, they come, you see them waste and go, and then in a very short while, they're gone. You start lacking them again. Also, okay, Rose will tell me to eat it more when it comes. Okay, I'm coming to you now. So, Rose, what do we do? Our fruits, our local fruits. Let's talk about them.
Like I said the other time I came, because of preservation, keeping it for a long time, it will decay. You eat it as you see. We are here to get to that technology where we can keep this thing. I always say, which time will Nigeria come up to that level to preserve this food?
Honestly, look at this guava.
There are certain things they normally add in all those ones coming from outside. You see in our apple, and people don't even like it because that's what they put on it makes it to last for a long time.
Chai.
Do you understand?
Which could be detrimental to our health.
Carcinogens. Do you understand what they use to preserve it?
But we say
It's better as we are seeing it. I say any food that comes in season, please enjoy it that time you see it. Because if we bring technology into it, there must be preservatives and additives that will keep it for a long time. Which somehow, if they don't use healthy preservative and additives, it will be serious. It will have a health hazard or health problem to the consumers. So my advice is, whenever you see it, eat it as it comes. Most of them contains vitamins, like this local apple Udara you're talking about. It has a lot of vitamin C. Do you understand? And the other fruits, orange has vitamin C, papaya and all the rest of them. On most fruits, God has destined to eat. God has given it what it will use to maybe enrich the system. Like we see the soursop, which they say is highly has an anti-cancer. Anti-cancer. Do you understand? It's that is why you cannot even, if you see the little one, it will be very expensive because people have seen what is in that soursop. Do you understand? So once you see an indigenous fruit, please don't joke with it.
So now you're talking about indigenous food, don't joke with it. Is apple indigenous?
I said, like, I just look at, you mentioned apple that is imported.
Okay, apple is not grown in Nigeria.
It is grown in Nigeria. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I don't know whether Nigerian are putting like in social media. You see that
because in social media we've seen where people say, you understand that no, this is a foreign one, that apple shelf life, you understand, is 2 days. That's the shelf life of apple. Apple cannot last more than 2 days. But now you begin to wonder, you will buy apple from departmental stores, you keep it in the fridge and it will be there for weeks. So
as long as you want it.
as long as so that means that is not healthy for us to consume in the first place.
That's what Dr. Rose has said.
Some climates like Jos, I think apple grows there. Because maybe the climate is like the foreign climate. But I know that any food that stays for a long time, there's something they put on it that make it to preservatives that make it to last that long.
Okay.
And most of them are injurious to health.
Okay, that's
why you need local one. You see, eat it that time you see. Now corn has started coming out. Now corn is a staple food. Eat it, though it is still expensive now. If it comes out on plate, enjoy it when it comes.
It's coming. It's coming down. I ate for 300 naira the other day. Yes, Noye, let me come to you. Let's still look at our local fruits. What other local fruits, indigenous, that is local with us, that we can access, and what are their nutritional value? I know there's this one we usually see when we go to fetch water in the village, on the road like that.
Is it what?
As we are not the things. God, where have they gone to? Where have all this gone to?
Estate now. They've cleared the place to build estate now. You're talking as if you don't know. Estate will have to spring up now. So that's it now. That's why most villages now don't even have indigenous land to even farm. Farming.
Okay, there are other ones like Icheku and other ones. Yes, Noye. Which one is Okuko?
That's this is
Oh yeah, with the small
Ube. Okay, Ubosa. We call it Ubosa. Thank you. Those ones.
Yes.
What are their nutritional value? Do we eat them as we see them too?
So I feel that those ones are wild fruits, and I think they come very often. But now the thing is, most times back then we see them in the villages. We don't see them around here in the cities. Okay. So,
but we all come from villages anyway.
So
when you go back to your village, you look for it.
So I also think that people in the villages should also look at this as an economic opportunity. They could actually source them and then bring them into the cities and sell them, because people that are here, for instance, all of us know about these fruits, and when we see them, we appreciate them. We can actually source them, get them for the family. We can buy them. Okay, even things like jackfruit, I see them too, and I give it a hand because those fruits also come from the villages. I know that they do, and then they share it up and people buy it.
Which one do you call jackfruit?
Jackfruit.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it looks like cinnamon or something. Sycamore.
Okay, that big one.
Very big one.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. That's what they call a sycamore.
Sycamore.
Exactly.
Okay.
So because these,
I enjoy that one too. It's very good.
Exactly.
So that sugar, it's very sugar. I hope it's not detrimental.
Sugar, it's not bad.
Fruit sugar like that of the watermelon, pineapple.
Most fruits contain sugar, all right, but it's actually in the natural form, which is good, unless you have certain diet-related diseases that you might need to watch the quantity that you have. But they are packed with nutrients, especially with vitamin C, and that's why she said it's important that you eat them as they come, because this vitamin C, by the time you look at the preservation, if you start heating it up and all of that, it kills the vitamins, and then you don't get the essential things that you need from it.
Okay. At this point, let's take a street walk and then get to hear from our street parliamentarians on the subject we are talking here in the studio. The show continues after this break. Don't go anywhere.
Apple and any type of soup. Our soup, egusi, ogbono, vegetable, especially uba and vegetable in short. Yeah.
My favorite food is swallow and unubu soup, right, which is bitter leaf soup.
Afang soup. Call it in English, I think, white spinach.
Okwa. So I think that we should love our own food here. Like this fear of eating, it has this beautiful proteins it has. You understand? So I think that we should value our own food.
We don't value our traditional food here in Nigeria now. We don't value it. If we value it, I'm telling you, it will be costlier than what do you call the other long, Indomie and so many of those ones, Beleful and so, they call it 1,000 naira. Why must it be 1,000 naira? It's too costly. So, but our traditional food, you can go just near to your farm there, collect, what do you call it, green, mogo, fruited pumpkin, water leaf. Now, water leaf is everywhere. You use crayfish and make a soup. But the other one, you cannot use even 1,000 to make a pot of soup. Yeah.
And yes, I do think we still value indigenous foods in Nigeria because in every occasion you go to burial, wedding, or anything, you still see swallow, you still see different variety of soups and all that. So yes, I do think it's going to be here for a while. It's not going anywhere.
I'm from Akwa Ibom State, so the indigenous practices as it pertains to delicacies, local delicacies, nowadays is not to be compared to the days of old. We see that we are gradually going from our local way, conventional ways of cooking, like using firewood to cook, to the gas, using the LPG, the gases to cook. So in this case, the local practices is gradually fading away. It's gradually fading away. And then for this to be maintained, I don't know if it is either a role of the individual or the role of the government.
Do you think we value indigenous foods and cooking practices enough?
No, not at all. Okay? Because like nowadays it's very hard for us to buy okwa. It's very costly in the market. Indomie and this stuff, I don't like it, but I feel like we are living our own food tribe.
Yeah, we're still at the studio talking about local seeds and local eats, and we still have with us Dr. Rose Amasiani and Noyen Nebe talking about the benefits of sourcing our local foods and eating. And by the time this program is over, I'll corner these two ladies and then get menu of some of these local foods. Let me be partaker of what they are doing, and let's see if we can definitely get there. But now, coming back to what we are talking about.
Consultation. I'm going to pay.
No, I will pay definitely. If that would be what it takes for me to definitely get what I need. Yeah. I need to start eating local. And start eating local and start drinking local. So now, talking about some of these our plants and trees that are almost extinct, going into extinction. How can we, revive them, bring them back? Do we have plans, maybe a zoological garden, botany garden, where we can get some of these things? And we're talking about local seeds. Nobody's talking about local meat and the rest of it. Is it not part of it too? It's not captured in the thing, you understand?
As in
Anunchi and the rest of it. So how come we're not? Because me, I'm a meat person too. So we need to talk about that one too. Dietitian, Biko, tell us the kind of meat that's healthy meat and the one that is not too healthy for consumption and the rest of it all.
Okay, so the thing about meat is, and just like I said earlier, that it's important that whatever we eat, we should actually eat in moderation.
Okay.
So our meat is fine, both the red meat and white meat, but it all now depends on what. Maybe if somebody has a particular diet-related disease, they might say this one should be cut off for a while. That is fine. But then talking about our fish as well, this fish is something that we really, encourage, because both children and adults, they actually get healthy benefits like our omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acid from it. And then it's also rich in protein and calcium and iron. Okay, so we can't overemphasize the benefits of
Is it all fish?
fish.
Or a particular fish?
In fact, all fish
Okay.
have this, but some might actually have it more quantity,
Higher.
yes, than the others, especially the oil fish when we're talking about this omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acid. Okay, so talking about the bush meat that you were now talking about. Now the thing is, we should also protect our wildlife, isn't it? So it's also something that we should
People
do.
that want to build estate will agree to that. You understand? If the people that are building estate everywhere will allow that, because that's the natural habitat of these animals that is being cleared for estates to be sprinkled up at them. But people are forgetting that you're altering the ecosystem. You
Yes.
understand? And these animals, if care is not taken, when you chase them from their natural habitat, the next place to go is to people's homes. And then somehow diseases begin to fester around
Exactly.
and the rest of it also.
Their own natural disaster. I mean, the animals, because population is growing and we need to live in homes. Okay? We need to build houses and live. Population is growing. There's nothing anybody can do about it.
Population is growing.
Except we are going to respect reserves area.
Exactly.
Like I kept crying what happened in Onitsha, how they sold out the forest reserve area. It wasn't a federal ministry forest, because I know that my auntie worked there. In those days, I would go to visit her. They have quarters there. Before I do it, I went to university and came back. Everywhere I saw the cars. I started seeing houses like in London. And the beautiful edifice there. I said, this place is supposed to be a reserve area now. What's going on? I said, we'll start respecting those areas. Keep them aside. I said, we'll have some,
nature. If you don't take care of nature, you understand?
You're going to
Nature-
survive.
Nature will not take care of you.
Exactly.
That you're expanding is not an excuse to be cutting grasses. I mean, chasing animals away. It's not an excuse. Let's go spade a spade. The entire population of the world can stay in one country. The 8.1 billion of this world can stay in one country on earth. China is big enough. Russia is big enough. Sudan here in Africa is even big enough. So it's just that most times humans are the one causing problems for us. Animals don't have much problem. If you give them that place to stay, they will stay. And you continue to conserve that place.
They will go on migration somehow, because we have a very small landmass here. And
We don't have any landmass. What we need is managing what we have.
Yes, planning.
Yeah.
Yes, we should
It's planning. Planning is what we lack. There is nothing small in this part of the world. Nothing. There's nothing small.
Losing all the natural, because we are even clean the
green life. Yes.
From the greenhouse.
Yeah.
When we don't have all those plants, the greenhouse is affected. The ecosystem will be affected. Then if animal goes into extinction, time shall come when we will not even remember there's animal like this. But we have to preserve them.
very important.
Because if you keep on destroying farmland, some of them might enter home, as you say, and bring the zoonotic disease. So while they're crossing the road, they will be killed.
Exactly.
You understand?
Cars.
So they'll be hunted by farmers, by hunters, and before
They
you
become food in
they will be out of this earth. You understand? We have to know that, especially planning. Government should plan.
And we should
have
has the
some aid
knowledge.
for them. You understand? Even have a place for planting to support, encourage farming, to support our local economy. You understand?
And even food sustainability too.
Not just
Yes.
food in
To
houses
provide food.
everywhere.
This food security we are talking about, this food insecurity we are talking about now, will be reduced once we have where government has taken it up, and also youths have taken it up to go back to farming.
Yes.
To even to prepare to keep food for their own home, and also have some for
Economic
for selling and also for export. Do you understand?
Okay, let's look at since we have agreed that we may not be able to preserve foods. Okay, let's look at other locals that we have, how we can store them when they are in store. Okay, like I saw something like potato. It's like it's blended into powder.
Yeah.
But what can one do with that?
Okay, well, yes, you can use it as a swallow. And then you can even use it.
Yes, sweet potato. Yes, you can use it. Just the way you use plantains, the way you use your corn, some things like that. And then you can use them as cereals as well. Right. Even baby food, it's something like that that you can actually make into complementary foods. Then in that kind of puree, that's where you can add the fruits. All right. You can add bananas or even avocados or some of these other juices to increase vitamin C in that particular cereal for the child as well.
Okay, storage is what we're talking about. How do we store these seeds when they are in season? Okay, Amasya.
First of all, we have to dry it
Okay.
to remove the moisture content, reduce the moisture content to the level that microorganisms cannot grow on it. You have to dry it to the storage, to the sun. Do you understand? To the temperature, maybe below 10 degrees, 10 distance, to prevent microorganisms. Then after drying it and remove the moisture, reduce the moisture content, you have to store it not in bags. You store it in tight fitting containers. Because if you keep it in bags, it will have the air.
What are we talking about here? Rice, beans,
even if it's rice, beans,
potato flour, and
potato flour. The potato flour you have to dry the fresh potato under sun. Or if there is no sun, like you can put it in oven. Cut it in slices and maybe inside your oven you put foil. And put it on top of it. Do you understand? So it will dry. While you are putting foil, it's for it not to. For when you want to remove it, you just
easy. Okay.
You understand? Like now we have rainy season, you can put it in the oven and dry it. Then you now blend it into powder. You can use it to make this puree and all the rest of them. Add whatever you want to add. You can also use it to make egg. Even if it's maybe cassava powder or corn powder or yam, even cocoyam, you store it in tight fitting container. Because if you keep it for a long time, you see something that these ants also enter inside it. Weevils. Yes. If mucus will enter it if it's not well dried. But if it's dried, it will not enter it. Then you now cover it. Anytime you want to, you bring the one you want to use and cover it again. If it's something like our beans, I said as I preserve my beans, like I use and once it is dried, mainly I bring my beans. I take that, I put that beans inside container, tight container, put it in the freezer. The freezer will now, any ant that comes with it will die off. Do you understand? Because look at, if you just, that ant, you carry one bean and put inside the freezer and lock it up for maybe 24 hours, the person will go. The same thing as like that ant. Everything that comes with that beans will die off. They now use a dry pepper, or you use dry dogoyaro. Once you put that dry dogoyaro there, it will never allow any dry one. It will never allow any ants to enter it until it gets finished. And it's normally good to buy it when there is plenty. When it's plenty, so that you have enough for the family. Which is cheaper too. That in office you normally contribute. So towards the end of the year, when that thing normally comes fresh, you buy it. And if you do it this way, I'm talking, the one I tossed in December, if you bring it very fresh, just pour it out, it will look as it is from day one. You understand? It will last for a long time. Put them in cakes. That case, after when you bring it out from that freezer, and you must have put pepper and all the rest of them. You understand?
You can put pepper and they are still put in the freezer.
No. Why I put it in the freezer first is to kill anything that comes with it. Then later on, I now pack it.
How long will you keep it in the freezer?
If you, depending on as long as it may be for to make sure that nothing remains there, that is ants.
Yes, for where you have constant power.
That's why these days, like in my area, we normally have lights. We are in band A, so you have to pay money for it. But it's better I see that light and pay.
Exactly.
I don't see.
Yes, than having things.
Than having things spoiled.
Yeah, you were talking about people with dietary. When you talk, it's okay, except for people with dietary issues and complications. Now, let's talk about them because one time we have the other tummy. So now, what are the foods for people that are suffering some dietary sickness or whatever? You understand, so that they can avoid, so that those that are watching will definitely take notes and the rest of it all.
Okay. So when I talked about that, it was basically it was fruits that I was targeting. So people that are managing diabetes, right, they can actually eat our staples. I actually encourage them. You can use our staples. You don't have to go and get foreign products and all of that, because people tend to, use it to deceive them. Exactly. So that they can just make money out of them. But the thing is that our locally available staples can be used to manage these diseases. But the most important thing is that we embrace our vegetables. These things, our vegetables are also indigenous foods as well. These our vegetables are very, very essential.
We didn't mention local vegetables, so arara,
all right, even the ones that we see, obogolo, our ugu, all right, our otazi, olubu, exactly. These
and that one curry.
All these vegetables are very, very important when it comes to managing diabetes because it contains high fiber, right? So it's the fiber that really helps, okay? So when it gets to our body, the soluble fiber helps manage the blood sugar level. So, and then I encourage them that everything, just like I said, we can eat our locally available food, but it should be, the portion control is very important, and then eat as much food, as much vegetable, as much as the food that you're having. By that, you're going to be managing this your sugar level properly. And it's not just sugar that the vegetable helps manage. Even those that have cholesterol, all right, and even high blood pressure. These vegetables are very important while managing these diseases. But then it was fruits that I was looking at. Now we were saying that fruits contain lots of sugar. So some of them, like our watermelon, that glycemic index might be higher. For instance, our pineapple, all right,
and sycamore.
Exactly. So most of those fruits contain sugar, right? But in as much as they are natural, it's important that one knows his or her sugar level before we're taking the portion that is expected of him or her, as in the fruit, from the fruit. So it's very important that while managing your blood sugar level, know your blood sugar level, check them, and then know the quantity of fruits that you should take. So they can actually still take our fruits, but it's important that they consult a dietitian.
Okay.
Okay, that is very
they consult you. What of somebody that?
So the thing about ulcer, people think that some fruits are peculiar to people that's to irritate some people that have ulcer. But what I say, the thing about it is that one person might have ulcer, two people might have ulcer, but when they eat the same thing, it might give one irritation and not give the other. So it's now a physiological thing with all that particular individual.
The system.
Right, exactly. What irritates you? You don't have to crave towards that particular food that irritates you. I even encourage them to have a food diary so that they can take down. Do you understand? If they eat this particular thing, they take it down. So that but it's not something that you say generally, everybody that has ulcer is going to,
Okay, thank you so much. That's the much we've actually eaten into other programs time, because we were all enjoying what you were saying and learning a whole lot. So we want to thank you so much, Dr. Rose Amasia, and State Nutrition Officer, also Program Manager, Food Safety and Hygiene WASH, Ministry of Health and Hygiene, Education Officer, Ruwasa. And also want to thank Noye. Oh, thank you so much. Noye Nebe, dietitian and head of nutrition, dietetics, Department of Nnamdi Azikiwe. Chukwu Emeka Odumogu, Ojukwu University, Teaching Hospital, Ama. Thank you so much, and that's the much we can take for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Amasiato, and thank you, Naya.
Thank you, Amasiani.
Amasiani, sorry. We'll see you some other time.